Hey guys, so today is another tea time video and I really like having a drink of something nice and warm while we're talking about one silly issue or another here. So today I'm going to discuss something that might that might rub people the wrong way, but I think it's okay to talk about something and to listen about something you don't agree with and just to brush it off if you don't agree with it. That's fine. That's the topic of conversation today. It's sensitivity. I think as a society we're becoming a little bit sicker. In what way? What I'm talking about is being triggered all the time about everything. These kinds of behaviors that I see online and in real life with social justice warriors about every single issue that is either an issue or a non-issue. It seems to not matter what it's about. People find a niche and then they, sharpen their teeth and all of a sudden it's a thing and everybody's fighting over something oftentimes quite trivial, to be honest with you. Sometimes not, but oftentimes very trivial. I think it's not good for us as a society to be so afraid to bring anything up that all of a sudden we're not talking about issues anymore. We're not bringing things up because everybody's afraid to be insensitive. Politicians do not talk about issues because there are so many taboo issues. There's always been taboo issues, always. And that's just the nature of the beast. But nowadays, it seems like pretty much everything is a taboo issue. We cannot express any kind of an opinion of any sort because any kind of an opinion of any sort will be met at all times with some kind of outrage, social warrior outburst, or some kind of a problematic, lengthy explanation of why you are an ignorant person. And of course there are issues where we need social warriors and it's appropriate to have a stance, a strong stance. But in many issues we really don't need that. We really don't need to be up in the arms and just completely bending over backwards, screaming our lungs out about things that don't really matter all that much in the grand scheme of things. The problem is people tend to congregate into these herds, and then you have this social phenomenon, especially online, it's going on, where a herd is all of a sudden congregated, triggered by something usually trivial, sometimes not, but usually, let's be honest, trivial stuff. And then they just take off, completely wiping everything off in their path. And they feel emotionally justified and armed with this ultimate truth that is only in their brains because there's no such thing. And then they charge. I think this is a scary phenomenon and I think we need to be cognizant of that because being triggered it's the other side of the point for extreme sensitivity. You're not triggered if you're not totally, completely, and extremely sensitive. Why are we so sensitive? Is it a way to not focus on the things that impact you and you have to deal with? Is it a way to divert your attention into something that ultimately will just make you ignore your own problems and your own life in the real world more? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know why people are so up in arms and angry about things all the time, and ultimately things that are silly to me, it seems like. Same goes with this extreme sensitivity and people being triggered over incredibly silly things. Like if I were to review something and express a negative opinion, that's no big deal because I have a very small channel and I can say whatever the heck I want and nobody cares what I say because AKA this is my opinion only, duh. Do I really need to clarify it in every single video? Every bigger YouTuber out there, for some reason, unbeknownst to common sense, has to put disclaimers 2 minutes long in front of every single video when they're reviewing something, saying, these are my opinions only. If something doesn't work for me but works for you, that's great. If something doesn't work for me, it's just my opinion. I'm sorry if this brings some kind of... I'm like, why? Why would I, as a viewer, sit there and see somebody not like something that I like and go like, you're wrong, and this is triggering to me. Why? Why is such a trivial, stupid thing triggering to me? I mean, it doesn't trigger me as a viewer, but in general, why does it trigger anybody? Why would anybody care that somebody doesn't like something they like? That's silly. This is not a personal attack whatsoever. Let's have another example, shall we? Very non-controversial controversy of Kylie Jenner releasing a new brush set, which I'm not going to purchase because I don't have any kind of investment into Kylie Jenner's brand, and I don't want to invest into her brand. But I don't see why is there such a huge hurricane of emotions surrounding some makeup release. Like, she released a roll of brushes that was extremely overpriced, and everybody agrees that it was, and it is. She's not going to sell much of them except for the people who are going to buy to review them and say that they're not worth the money. This is exactly what's happening now, and it makes sense. I mean, it makes complete sense. Maybe that's what she was trying to do. Maybe she was like, let's price these about 10 times what they're worth, and then we're going to see what people do. This is going to be curious. And I am well aware that I'm contributing to this right now about talking about it, but I'm trying to bring home a point much bigger than this silly issue. I'm trying to bring back the point of why are we so triggered by it? Like, I will take my money to Wayne Goss, thank you very much, because he is the person I trust for brushes, and they're very well regarded and well reviewed. And at this point, he makes good brushes, and I know he makes good brushes. So if I'm buying something online, I'm going to buy it from a reputable person. I'm not going to buy from freaking Kylie Jenner. But great, she released those very expensive brushes, and they're out there in the, you know, internet sphere at the moment. And my guess is nobody's going to buy them, and people who are going to buy them are going to bash them. Which is fine, because all the money goes into her pocket anyway, so she doesn't care. As long as people buy them, they can shit all over her, it doesn't matter. But why is there such a big fuss about it? To me, it seems that, okay, some kind of a release, overpriced, don't want them, moving on. That's all it is. It's no big deal. Don't spend your money on it if you don't want to move on. That's the end of the story. There is no reason for us to invest emotionally into this whole ordeal. It's silly of us to be so reactive to such a silly little thing. So for me, I think these are symptoms of extreme sensitivity. We're such a hypersensitive bunch. And when I'm talking about we online, yes, but also we as a society, because this kind of a silly behavior translates into politics, it translates into purchasing power, it translates into people's freedoms. And the freedom of expression is on paper there, yes, but really you're not free to express yourself on any kind of a topic that is deemed even remotely controversial, and most of these topics aren't really controversial. I don't know if it's something that's just going to pass. My guess is that is something that is a characteristic of a couple of decades this century, and then probably it's going to calm down and go away as some of the other things had done in the past. But yeah, I think the social trend is worrisome. I'm hoping that it's going to just pass on its own, go away, and we're not going to have to worry about it in the future. But we might. Maybe we will be a nation of absolute hypersensitivity freaks who do not talk about anything for the fear of offending anyone. So maybe that's where we're heading. Possibly, probably, I don't know. Let me know what you think. This just made me, what made me think about this topic, and I've been thinking about this topic for a while, but what made me think about it and want to make a video on my channel is this silly Kylie Jenner brush ordeal, and what has come out of it, and why why the heck is it as big a deal as it is. So yeah, I think hypersensitivity, this is scary. So let me know what you think about it. Do you think we're super sensitive? Do you think we should be less sensitive about our online life and about our actual life? Or do you think that treading lightly in terms of everyday things and expressing yourself in any kind of way is correct, and we should be super cognizant of other people's sensitivities even if we don't think they're justified? And how far would you go to appease somebody's sensitivity? Would you change your opinions? Would you stop expressing yourself? Would you stop talking altogether if you're afraid that somebody might be hypersensitive to what you have to say? I think there's a fine balance, and certainly we should not be offensive people. I don't think that that's the answer, but I do think that we've swung the pendulum a little bit too far into let's get offended about everything territory, and maybe it'll even out by itself. Maybe we just need a little bit of time. That's it for today. I hope it was fun for you to watch, and leave below what do you think about this hypersensitivity, and I probably would call it triggering that has been happening around the internets and in real life as well, actually, and let's discuss it. Talk to you in the comments section. See you later. Bye bye.